So everybody, it's coming. This is just a roundup of players Manchester United. We'll be talking the summer window now. It is a few months away, but United stand to a very, very reliable. I've done an interview with Fabrizio, and he's talked about some interesting quotes, which I'll give you. So shout out to United stand for this, and yeah, I will be giving you the latest. So yeah, they talked about Eric Ten Hag. They said that Dan Ashworth, before the transfer window start will be difficult, but Ineos are trying to make it happen. Manchester United are trying to keep the negotiations quiet with the media. It'd be a big summer with the reality of financial fair play. United have to consider some exits. They'd be prepared to cash in on Greenwood, Sancho to reinvest that money in different positions. Many players could leave. There's no chances of Varane, Maguire. No, there's concrete links of Varane leaving this summer. However, not with Lindelof and Maguire. We need to bring in a left back, someone with quality. We're in the race for Michael Olise, and we should know which left backs Manchester United are looking at. So that is the news. I know that's quite quick, but in this video, I was talking, as I said, you can see by the title, 10 players that Manchester United must get rid of this season. I think there's 10 huge players here, and there's definitely 10 options that Manchester United can generate money for. Now, I did the 5 players Manchester United must bring in. In this video, we'll be talking about how much we can get for the player as well. So the first player, personally, I would get rid of is obviously Rafael Varane. Now, he's a player who's, obviously, I've been said to keep before, but in this current moment, he's a player who's picking up a lot of injuries, and it will be difficult for him to start, I think. We need a consistent centre-back, and getting rid of these big players will be important, I think. Varane, yes, he's been a great servant to the club. You can probably get 35, 40 million pounds for him, so it probably won't be a loss as much. But certainly, I think there'll be big clubs looking at him. There's been rumours about Madrid, Bayern Munich as well, so there's certainly clubs who are interested in Varane. I do think he's a good player, but at Manchester United, we want the best. And yes, Varane's one of the best in this position, but is he consistently available? The answer is no to that. So we've got to give him the time, and he'll probably be a fan favourite. I think I do enjoy watching Varane play. I think he's so composed and is a Rolls-Royce defender. But unfortunately, he's going to be a player that has to leave Manchester United. I think we need a revamp in that centre-back partnership, as they are getting really old at the back. Now, another player who's I would probably get rid of, and it's sad because he's one of my favourite defenders. I think Luke Shaw. I think this season he's picked up 3-4 injuries, and that's what you not need as a left back. As I said, you need consistency, and Luke Shaw hasn't provided that. Yes, he's a good player, and he's a fantastic player that we all want to succeed at Manchester United, and he has been important. But for me, the best ability is availability, and he's not available enough, and he's picking up injuries consistently. And for me, he can't be the starting left back for Manchester United. Now, last year, someone who picked up a long injury. We don't know what's happening with him. Alvaro Fernandez could be someone Manchester United look to at the future. And with Luke Shaw, there probably won't be many teams interested in, but you can probably get 35, 40 million pounds for him. I think it's interesting to see what happens with that, and let's see what will continue to happen. But probably unlikely that he leaves because Manchester United will prioritise other positions. But it's sad. But Luke Shaw would be a player I would get rid of. Now, a third player, I think this is very likely, Sofiane Amrabat. It's been unfortunate that Amrabat will be leaving Manchester United, but I think obviously we signed him on a loan anyway, so it wasn't permanent. And he hasn't really had a chance, in my opinion. He played at left back when he came in at the start. Hasn't really had a consistent partnership to play with in midfield. So it has been difficult for him. He had injuries and stuff, AFCON as well. But it's adamant under the new regime that they want to get rid of him. So yeah, you won't get any money for him as he's on loan. But it will be another space vacation for someone that Manchester United will bring in if they decide to do that. Now, the fourth player Manchester United should look to sell is for me, Scott McTominay. Now, he's an academy player, so we will immediately be making a profit on him. I think he's a good player, scores goals. And for me, for Manchester United, at best, he's a squad player. But if Ineos want to clear out 10 players, McTominay is someone that has been mentioned. Now, as I said, I would probably keep him as a squad player. But I think the importance of getting rid of certain players who you hold a sentimental value for is what the whole thing Ineos are trying to do. I think McTominay can cash in 30, 40 million. There's rumours that West Ham are interested in him. I think they do need a midfielder. I think Calvin Phillips is only on loan. And I think he fit into West Ham really well. I think he's a player who can play that role and shoots a probably lower down Premier League side who there's not too much emphasis on them. I think McTominay is a player, we know he can score goals, but his overall ability in midfield, in my opinion, is not good enough now. There's probably other teams you can probably get from in the Premier League. So yeah, you can probably maybe a Brighton. There's definitely options at Wolves, a Crystal Palace. So there are options it's going to be a downgrade for him, but it's unfortunate. But I'm not trying to be biased in this. It's just the real talk that players Manchester United must get rid of. Now, the fifth player won't be a midfield player. It would be, for me, Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Now, Wan-Bissaka, we know we bought him in for 50 million, so we'll probably be making a loss on that. I think Wan-Bissaka has found it difficult. He's had really good spells at Manchester United. He's been injured now for quite a few months. It looks like Dalot's taken that spot, really, and it looks like not many people will overtake him. I think we do need competition for that right-back position, and I know Wan-Bissaka offers it, but I think we probably do need someone better now. Wan-Bissaka, you get 35 million. Then the options that have been looked at to replace him, number one, Tariq Lamptey, a young player. I think he does get quite injuries as well. Jeremy Frimpong and Denzel Dumfries. So they're three options that may replace him. So that's the fifth player. Now, the sixth player Manchester United must get rid of, for me, is obviously Anthony Martial, a player who's been at the club now almost 10 years. I think it's his 9th year at the club. Yes, there's huge potential there, but he hasn't really fulfilled that, and in my opinion, must leave. I think he hasn't played 90 minutes now in probably 2 years. I think his availability is an issue. We know he's a technically good player. We know he can score the odd goal, and he's very, very skillful, but he hasn't done much for me in like 2 or 3 seasons. He's inconsistent. The injuries are not there, and for me, he's got to go. Now, obviously, he was on loan at Sevilla. He's got an injury at the minute, so he's definitely someone Ineos will look to get rid of for a free agent as well, so we won't make any money off him because his contract does run out in the summer. I think Martial is disappointing. As I said, he's picked up a lot of injuries which have not helped his career, but he has to go. Now, the seventh player I would get rid of would be Antony. I think Antony is a player who Manchester United have tried their role, and Erik ten Hag continues to back him, but it's obvious that they want to sell him. He's not playing any games. People like Amari Forster and Ahmad are getting in over him, and you can see that it hasn't worked out for him at Manchester United, and Erik ten Hag will be really disappointed. But the fact that we spent £86 million on him and he hasn't really hit the ground running, we've given him a season. The second season hasn't been good enough. We obviously make a loss on that. He's done a lot of money, probably 300 grand. We paid 86 million for him. They'll probably get 30 at max. I think he's not been good enough, and we know it's been difficult for him. He's had a lot of issues off the pitch, but his performance is not good enough, and he is a player Manchester United, in my opinion, need to get rid of. I think he can, as I said, he can score that worldie, but half the time when we need him, he's just not good enough in that final third, and I think we need more attackers. I think more consistent attackers. Now, we're going to get rid of 4 attackers this summer, so we're going to need a bolster in attack. I think the 8th player Manchester United must get rid of is Mason Greenwood. Now, obviously, the whole situation off the pitch, I think it's clear that Ineos want to get rid of him. They don't want the backlash. I think for me, he can generate £40 million. So that'd be pure profit as he's an academy player. I think he's looked good at Getafe, but it's just time we part ways. I don't think it's going to go well down with the fans if we bring him back. And yeah, we must just get him gone. I think we need a fresh start, and I'm sure he would want that as well. Now, the 9th player Manchester United should get rid of, it's another attacker, which is Jadon Sancho. I think Sancho, the player who, as I said, same with Antony, came in for a lot of money, a young talent that Manchester United were looking for. Didn't really work out, played under Branjik, Oli, and now Ten Hag. He's had a situation with him. It's looking like that can't be come back, and it's looking like he will leave in Ineos. Yes, they want to give him a chance, but I don't think he's good enough for Manchester United, and I think that time is gone, and it's unfortunate because Sancho, we've all seen it, Champions League, he's in Bundesliga as well, he's a very skillful player, and it is sad that he's going to leave, but yeah, we won't make profit on him. You'll probably get 40 million for him. He might just go straight back to Dortmund. He's on loan at them now, and he's not doing well there either, so I think players like that we've got to get rid of. Now, the 10th and final player that, in my opinion, Manchester United must get rid of, I'm going to go from a defender. I think it has to be, in my opinion, Lindelof. Now, there's rumours that he won't be leaving unless he gets a big offer, but for me, I think he's been pretty inconsistent, and we need to replace some big centre-backs, and we need to bring in some players. So yeah, let me know your thoughts and opinions on the 10 players Manchester United must get rid of. Obviously, I'll do a video talking about 10 players Manchester United must sign, but yeah, let me know your thoughts. Thanks for watching. Peace.